The one sunk in reflection deep upon the riddle of the soul, should his attention firmly keep, centered on it, with full control. Converging on pure consciousness, until its span begins to extend to new dimensions, more or less, as happens when we height ascend. To see a new panorama which does the former view replace, or as when ice begins to thaw, and we see water in its place. In the same way, when mind expands, to change into the supermind, the concentrated knower lands on an Olympia so refined, so new and foreign to the earth as day to night, a heaven of bliss, so new to us that sans rebirth, we always would the rapture miss.
As often as the vagrant mind escapes the ego's tether slack, some other errant course to find, so often one should bring it back, and keep it riveted on the soul, the lucid pool of consciousness, the center of our being whole, which gives identity to us. A time will come this knowing pool will spread out as a drop of oil does, on a sheet of water cool, in a pond to reward one's toil.
Inner sensations, lights or sounds, if mild, need not make seekers pause. But if they least exceed the bounds, and some pain or distraction cause, one must the practice stop, to give a rest to the overtaxed brain, until completely cured, to lead a life immune from stress and strain.
What can it profit if a man becomes a walking library, but inside is no older than a child, of tantrums never free? There always is among the learned a near abnormal moiety, which has into problem children turned eccentric, though in knowledge rich. Overloading of the mind disturbs the organic balance of the brain. Its native healthy upgrowth curbs or warps and twists it with the strain. The guiding lights of modern thought no knowledge have of this abuse, no inkling of the havoc wrought when brain is forced to excessive use.
They know not that our tender brain is mounting up a hard ascent, and we must vigilant remain a wrong direction to prevent.
A huge securely fastened weight suspended from an urchin's neck would soon deformities create, a beauty of the figurette.
This is what modern pressures do without our knowledge to our brains.
And with that, to our thinking too, while we collect material gains.
This grave neglect to this is due, that knowledge often takes it ill to be told what is plain and true, that our brain is evolving still. Convinced that what he says is right, as dogma not a proven fact, for he cannot throw any light on how mind does on brain react, nor has the least awareness of what fuels mind, and how is it? He does not know what marks off a genius from a normal wit.
What I assert will be borne out when more is known about the brain, and those who now my statement doubt will not long in the dark remain. That genius is attended by abnormal or eccentric traits is nature's hint, that we should try our best to explore these morbid states and find out why, before its bloom, the human mind degenerates or is enshrouded in the gloom of madness, as if ruled by fates. 100 cases are there to show how often genius is allied to madness, but we do not know why they should flourish side by side. A study of the more remote religious genius could have solved the riddle had we taken note that knowledge from priestcraft evolved.
The wind of change is blowing hard. Only the learned and the elite, who our laws and traditions guard, still fail to read the signs aright.
For mankind has stepped as a whole from childhood into adolescence, but most still act a childish role due to our mentors' lack of sense. The ills of child delinquency, of drug addiction, drink, and vice, which grow in count and frequency, are warning signs which should suffice to tell us that something is wrong. In modern life, to make us pause, and look round patiently for long until we hit upon the cause. A war is brewing, as the learned have no idea of nature's plan, to which the bulk their back have turned as arrogantly as they can.
More than a polymathic mind, nature demands a fuller life. That is why scholars lag behind the enterprising and the strife. Knowledge is as much in the dark about the destiny of man as nurslings toddling in the park about their city's master plan.
We must remember when we dwell on evolution that in man the ascent cannot be made pell-mell, but in accordance with some plan, and that the aim is he should grow in noble traits and qualities, and not a disproportioned show, leading to freaks and oddities.
Temporal knowledge ne'er can find, however oceanic it might grow, what model nature has in mind, what changes future man will show.
One who counts on the erudite, their theories, speculations, views, to read this cryptic scroll aright, must be prepared for dismal news.
So what I foresee is that there will occur calamities.
Including nuclear war?
There will be a nuclear war. But its effect will be greatly restricted. Certain strange developments will occur, so that although it will all appear to be natural or for geographical or astrophysical causes, but they will be deliberately created actions of superconsciousness, and explanations may be rendered for them, but they will be the outcome of our present disregard of evolutionary laws.
Mankind is passing through the age of dreams come true of scientists, and with their gifts have set the stage now for the rule of nuclear fists. What mental plagues will be her share if this accursed infernal race, with more and more destructive wear, continues at a faster pace, unless kind nature takes a stand to make the hotheads see the light, and comes down with a heavy hand to bring to dust their vaunted might.
The arsenals built by the urge to power, by lust, ambition, greed, nature will soon use as the purge to cure these current ills with speed. This awful drama shall reveal how marvelously nature works, and how in all with which we deal, her hand behind the curtain lurks. This gifted book will leave no doubt that all we do is preordained, and knowledge of what comes about before it happens can be gained.
This is, in fact, the principle on which religious quest is based, to be one with the cosmic will, until the ego, nigh a face, becomes a thin, transparent veil, when soul, in tune now with the all, can mark a coming stormy gale and sound the alarm at nature's call.